from both of our trainers here. Hideyuki going with the Aegis/, Kangaskhan lead here, and Shoma, Kangaskhan, and Heatran.
Yeah, that's not so good there for Hideyuki. Again, we get the 2 Steel-type Pokemon facing off in the first turn, but you definitely want to be on the Heatran side of that. The one advantage is that if it does turn out that Heatran hits Aegis/, with a Heat Wave, likely to survive it and then fire back with a Shadow Ball. So Heatran actually has to be careful here. Since Aegis/, is so powerful defensively in its shield form, it can't just try to knock it out without weakening it first, unless it wants to risk being knocked out in return, or perhaps worse, allowing for a boosted Flash Cannon to take down the partner Kangaskhan here, which is going to be a very important Pokemon in this matchup.
Yeah, there's. I do believe that Aegis/, will be able to handle a Heat Wave just fine here. It's going to be up to both of these competitors to decide what they want to do with their Mega Pokemon. Keep it on the field, go for Fake Out, switch out. What's the right call?
Now, one advantage, too, is Heatran has the option to substitute, so it doesn't have to go on the offensive, where Aegis/, is all offense all the time.
Yeah, and then we do see the Mega Pokemon come out here for, I believe, Hideyuki on the bottom screen there. And let's see if Shoma goes for it as well. Protect. Shoma seems really excited. I don't know what's going to happen here. We get that Protect from Kangaskhan. Oh, no, the King Shield. So a double Protect from Hideyuki, and this could be big. The 2 stages of reduced attack there for Kangaskhan. Ouch. As Heatran finishes off the turn and, of course, does nothing to either of the 2 protecting Pokemon.
Heatran trying to attack there, and Kangaskhan also attacking. You see, didn't Mega Evolve. Tried to go for one of the cheekier plays there by not Mega Evolving and taking advantage of that Scrappy ability.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it allowed it to hit Aegis/, which just let it activate King Shield instead of actually do damage there.
Yeah, that was a brutal turn for Shoma. Didn't even get that substitute up, so definitely could have gone the other way there. But it looks like Hideyuki making a great turn 1 play.
Yeah, very good play. I do love the guts on Shoma's side, though, being willing to try to attack with Scrappy against Aegis/, but unfortunately it doesn't play out for him very well that time.
So it's so excited to so sad after realizing that the Aegis/ went into King Shield form now. Shoma, of course, going Mega this turn, not waiting any longer here. Heatran's going to go ahead and protect itself from any potential fighting-type moves into that slot here. And oh my, Power-Up Punch into the Kangaskhan of Shoma is going to go ahead and boost the attack of this Kangaskhan by 2 stages because of that Parental Bond ability there. And this is looking pretty scary as actually the Aegis/, I think... oh my gosh, there it is. The low kick from Kangaskhan taking off about 50% of the health there. And we're going to see Aegis/ go ahead and get a turn. Where will it attack is the question. I think it's going to be a Shadow Ball and maybe into the Protect.
Yeah, Aegis/ not getting anything done there. Unfortunately for it, getting out of its shield form to no avail. But Kangaskhan now on Hideyuki's side, getting those boosted levels of attack, where the enemy Kangaskhan has reduced levels of attack. So a pretty big advantage on the board now. The Power-Up Punch, unfortunately, even though it gives all those stages of attack, doesn't do a whole lot of damage, so Heatran probably still safe for another turn, but definitely going to need to be very careful if you're Shoma here. You don't want to just cough up a Pokemon for free. Now, even switching Kangaskhan is really dangerous because, return into that slot can pretty much just chunk anything on Shoma's team now.
Yeah, it's going to make for a very, very scary Kangaskhan there, with Sucker Punch potential now really boosted there, giving it that priority. Oh my gosh, the Shadow Sneak now coming out. We didn't get to see it last game, doing a little bit of damage to Heatran, and maybe, wow, Shoma going first here. Is it enough? No! The Kangaskhan holds on with 1 hit point. Absolutely incredible, and the Power-Up Punch now into the Heatran slot after the Shadow Sneak, the stage of attack getting boosted here, and the little Kang gonna go ahead and finish off the Heatran of Shoma. Oh my gosh, that was the most insane play I have seen.
Yeah, that's absolutely clutch. Kangaskhan just barely surviving. If it had been knocked out there, the series is probably over, and Shoma is probably your new world championship. The Kangaskhan survives, gets the knockout, and the way that knockout was set up is beautiful. Aegis/ getting that little bit of chip damage. At that point, you know exactly how much damage you need. That wasn't a coincidence that Heatran was just barely knocked out. I'm sure this Kangaskhan was probably trained to pick up that knockout. Very, very close to not getting it, but there's no point in wasting it. You don't get any bonuses for doing twice a Pokemon's HP and damage.
No, not at all. I was on the edge of my seat for that one as I saw the life bar slowly draining from the Kangaskhan, ready to go back into the Pokeball as Shoma takes as much time as possible to select this next Pokemon here, as we see the Thundurus come in there for Shoma on the top screen. 3 Pokemon to 4 right now.
Yeah, the advantage there is pretty big, but with Kangaskhan only at a single hit point and slower than the Kangaskhan on the previous turn, unless that was a speed tie, it's going to be very difficult for Kangaskhan actually to attack. Even just firing sucker punches in the slot can prevent it from moving. But it does have Protect, unlike many Kangaskhan we see, so it can at least stall some turns here, maybe get some attention, waste some attacks, try to create an opening where Shoma gets a little bit too aggressive, assuming Kangaskhan's not going to do anything, and maybe coughs up another knockout.
Exactly, Scott. Well analyzed there. As we see, both of these Pokemon did protect that turn 1, so we could see maybe a repeat there. And actually, it's going to be a switch of the Aegislash maybe into that Landorus now of Hideyuki, and there it is, of course, going to reduce that Kangaskhan that's already in a bad position by another stage of attack, and onto that Thundurus as well. Kangaskhan now protecting, so Thundurus maybe not having a move here to do really to that Pokemon, and it's going to be a nice swagger, going to land the confusion but boost its physical attack. That could be scary. As we wait for the Kangaskhan to hit with return here, taking it down to about 50%.
Damage is might not be as irrelevant as it looks. Again, Landorus getting weakened. We saw what happened last game when the Landorus and Shoma side was so much healthier than its opponent. However, Landorus getting in relatively free here, weakening the Kangaskhan even more. It makes this Thundurus really important. Unfortunately for Kangaskhan, doesn't get a chance to attack there, but if it was able to knock out the Pokemon that Thundurus slot, and Kangaskhan was to be stuck on the field so weakened, it would almost certainly lose Shoma the game.
And now we see Shoma actually switching into his own Landorus here, getting those Intimidates off, reducing the attack of Hideyuki's Pokemon by 1 stage, and Hideyuki now switching out, preserving that Kangaskhan. Now we'll have Fake Out later in the game, I believe, if it's carrying that, and we see the switch in to the Aegislash. The Confusion, this is the biggest turn, I think, right here. Will it hit itself in Confusion, or will it hit through? No, the Rock Slide gets off, and it's going to do a ton of damage to these Pokemon with that boost. Oh, it missed. I didn't realize there was a huge miss on the Rock Slide. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, I mean, not the biggest ton of damage, but still it's important. Kangaskhan would be knocked out by another Rock Slide now. And Aegislash continues to be dangerous. He gets in for free there, expecting a Sucker Punch would probably come into that Kangaskhan slot, not wanting just to give it up for free. If you're going to have to switch it to Aegislash anyway, might as well preserve the Kangaskhan. You never know when it's going to help. Sort of a frustrating position now to be in for Shoma. You want to take out this Aegislash, it's a big threat, and you want to get rid of Landorus as well. If it shakes up the Confusion, you just kind of gave it a level of attack for free. But Aegislash is going to be difficult to target down here unless both a Sucker Punch and an Earthquake were to go into that slot, because you don't want to just weaken it a little bit, activate weakness policy, and lose a Pokemon for it.
Exactly.
Tough spot, because Landorus is also not a Pokemon to ignore.
And we see now Shoma switching out the Kangaskhan here. It being so weakened at this point, there's really not much else it could do. And the Thundurus now coming in here. A Rock Slide from Shoma's Landorus goes first, connecting here, doing a little bit of damage here. He's got his hands up, looking for that Confusion. He does not get it, and a big Rock Slide gets fired off, doing a ton of damage to the Thundurus of Shoma, as well as damage to that Landorus there. So both Genies taking huge amounts of damage, and we see Aegislash going into Blade form. Will it attack? Yes, a Shadow Ball as well. Oh my gosh, it does look like Hideyuki wrapping it up, but no, Shoma gonna get another turn out of this Pokemon here unless we see that Shadow Sneak.
It seems like every Pokemon in this battle just hanging out with a little bit of health. I mean, and that's some of how these players have trained their Pokemon. You've had a little bit of defensive training over the course of a tournament. There's a lot of hits you're going to survive you couldn't otherwise. We're seeing why these Pokemon get so deep. Keep in mind, however, this Aegislash does have Shadow Sneak. Neither of these Pokemon are safe, even though Aegislash is the slowest Pokemon in the field. And boy, is this Thundurus wondering, what have I done? I gave this swagger to Landorus, just turned it around and threw rocks at me. Eventually, that's the danger of that move, right? You try to stop your opponent from attacking, but if they do get to attack, they attack a lot harder.
Yeah, it's a lot on the line for both of these players who I'm sure are very focused right now. We do see the swagger here. I think the best, most safest play here for Shoma, going to hope that Aegislash cannot get a potential Shadow Sneak off here. A lot on the line for these two trainers, almost $20,000 in prizing here as it hits through with a big Shadow Sneak, and I think that will pick up the feint here on the Thundurus. It is definitely at this point looking like Hideyuki's taking it to a Game 3. Shoma, though, outspeeding, still maybe won't take any damage from this Landorus here, who's still in with 11 hit points, and it does not get an attack off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways things can go wrong for the Landers here. You have to worry about flinching, you have to worry about missing. No attack, but with only 2 Pokemon remaining at such low health, a really great position now, and Shoma looks like he's in trouble. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Aegislash switch out here. There's that weakened Kangaskhan in the back that's not going to be able to do much against these quicker Pokemon, so shake that confusion off of Aegislash probably, get in a position where you can Shadow Sneak that Landers, pick up that knockoff, probably clean up the game here. Just beautifully played game, and excited that we might be seeing a third game here, but it's not quite over yet.
That is going to be absolutely incredible here as Hideyuki decides to switch out the Landorus, and will allow it for a switch in a little bit later to get an Intimidate off here. Kangaskhan does come in, as well as a King Shield for Hideyuki. Shoma still fighting here, and there goes the King Shield for Aegislash. Oh no, Landorus attacking directly into that slot is going to feel the effects of that reduced attack. Not only from that, but most likely from the switch in of the Landers here on Hideyuki's side, but does pick up the feint of the Kangaskhan who switched in there. So I'm guessing we'll see a Landers play on this one.
Yeah, choosing instead of risking, or not worried about the risk, I guess, of Aegislash hitting itself trying to go to King Shield, instead preserving Landorus to have that Intimidate later, but Volcarona actually coming in instead. We get to see once again it get its revenge, and I think it's a very safe position here. Kangaskhan actually can't knock Volcarona out without knocking itself out, and Shadow Sneak threatening Landorus.
And does look like we get a Sucker Punch from Kangaskhan, doing quite a bit of damage on that critical hit here. However, activating the weakness policy, will we see a double critical hit, and is that even enough to get rid of Aegislash? No, hanging in there with 18 hit points. Now we see Aegislash going to go ahead and switch into Blade form here, most likely choosing Shadow Sneak based on its move priority there, and we do see it take out the Landorus of Shoma Honami there on the top screen as it goes back to its trainer, and of course Volcarona out there to do some work with a little flamethrower into the Kangaskhan, and we have a Game 3 at your 2015 Pokemon World Championships.
How much work did Aegislash do in that game? I mean, that Shadow Sneak Aegislash, this is not something you see in the high-level play of the video game championships typically, but we really needed that Shadow Sneak right there. I've seen some previous series where Shadow Sneak was very important. A little bit strange to me to see how effective it's been. Maybe it's something that players shouldn't have been selling off so easily.